This is Duck 1, roger that, so I'm on my way.
This is Duck 2, copy that. Got 3 Volga.
Товарищи красноармейцы и краснофлотцы, командиры и политработники, рабочие и работники, колхозники и колхозницы, работники интеллигентного труда, братья и сестры в тылу.
August 23rd, transferred to the 43rd IAP. August 24th, enemy plane spotted crossing the front lines. August 25th, current objective, destroy artillery positions on the outskirts of Stalingrad. June 22nd, 1941. Adolf Hitler ordered the decisive defeat of the Soviet Union. Codenamed Operation Barbarossa. 3 army groups led the invasion. General Wilhelm von Lea pushed towards Leningrad from East Prussia. General Jaron von Rundstedt, with an armored group under General Paul Ludwig and Kleist, advanced from southern Poland into Ukraine at Kiev. General Fedor von Bock's army group, along with armored groups under General Heinz Guderian and General Hermann Hoth, thrusted towards Smolensk and Moscow. The 1,800-mile front took the Soviets by surprise. On the first day of the invasion, Guderian's tanks were already at Minsk, attacking from the south. 5 days later, 200 miles beyond the city. Hoth tanks attacking from the north merged with Guderian's, but Bock's army infantry could not fully encircle the Soviets. 300,000 prisoners were taken, but a large portion of the Soviet forces were able to retreat further east. July 10th, Guderian's tanks have crossed the Dnieper River, and by July 16th, managed to take Smolensk and merge with Hoth's group through Vitebsk. 200,000 more Soviets were taken prisoner, with the rest retreating further east. The Soviets adapted the scorched earth policy, burning crops, destroying bridges, and relocating factories to hinder the German advancement. Soviet railroad cars were destroyed to prevent the Germans from using their rail systems, as the German cars were of a different gauge and useless on Soviet tracks. By mid-July, the Germans were only 200 miles from Moscow, with enough time to reach the city before the onset of winter. However, arguments between Hitler and Germany's High Command, or OKH, delayed further advancements. Meanwhile, in Ukraine, Rundstedt and Kleist made light work of the Soviet defenses. By the end of July, the front south of Kiev had been broken and the German forces pushed towards the Black Sea. Tired of retreat, Stalin orders his troops to stand their ground regardless of advice from his generals. The Germans encircled the Soviets and captured 520,000 soldiers. As winter approached, Hitler ordered Lieb to hold his northward push towards the outskirts of Leningrad and for Rundstedt and Kleist to continue their assault from the Dnieper River to Don into the Caucasus. October 2nd, 1941, Bock continues his advance on Moscow. By late October, 600,000 more Soviet troops were captured in Vyazma, clearing the path towards Moscow. However, as winter approached, the German generals wanted to break off the offensive and set up a suitable winter line. Bock wanted to continue the campaign as he believed the Soviets were on the brink of collapse. The temptation of seizing Moscow was just too great. December 2nd, 1941, a final effort to seize Moscow was launched, with some German detachments penetrating into the city's suburbs. Their winter was especially bad. The main advancement was held up in the forest covering the capital. Sub-zero temperatures caused massive frostbite to the German soldiers and paralyzed their mechanized transports, armor, artillery, and aircraft. By contrast, the Soviets had been prepared for the winter and fought much more effectively than the Germans. By November, the Germans suffered around 730,000 casualties. November 2nd, 1941, Kleist had reached Rostov-na-Donu, the main entry point of the Caucasus. However, he has exhausted all of his fuel. November 28, 1941, a Soviet counteroffensive recaptured Rostov. 4 days later, Kleist has been relieved of his command. December 6, 1941, General Georgy Konstantinovich Zhukov began the first great counteroffensive with attacks against Bock's army group near Moscow.
This is Duck 1, enemy artillery spotted 7 o'clock low, request permission to engage.
Роша, да, утка 1, разрешайте. Sky.
This is Duck 1, successful hits. Duck 1 there is a band until 6 o'clock. So basically just
I'm breaking right. I'm on the Fritz 6. Я стреляю. Бандит уничтожен.
Leningrad, Moscow, Rostov, Don, Volga, the Caucasus. The next goal of the German offensive, Stalingrad. The capturing of the city would be a significant blow to the Soviets, as it was named after their leader, Joseph Stalin. The city was also a major industrial center, supplying the Soviets with war supplies. Not only that, the Don and Volga River also passed through Stalingrad, opening up two major trading routes. The Caucasus oil fields were to the south of Stalingrad, with the city standing in the way. The capturing of Stalingrad would be critically important to the German offensive, but as future events would show, be a disaster to the German forces. Not one step back, for there is no land for us beyond the Volga.
Ваша основная задача – обеспечить сопровождение истребителя Ил-2, уничтожить любые противовоздушные немецкие самолеты. Ваш успех критически важен для обороны Сталинграда.
Ja, kann man das 6 machen. Wurde getroffen. Brauchen wir Hilfe. Sie ist direkt damit dran. Kann sie nicht loswerden.
Ich benötige Hilfe.
To the north and south, a hidden Soviet force awaited their time to strike. German intelligence failed to spot this buildup, which had turned out to be a devastating mistake. The Soviets decided to attack the lines held by the German allies, as Soviet High Command estimated they would quickly surrender. November 23, 1942, the Soviets attacked the Hungarian, Romanian, and Italian lines with huge success. The German 6th Army was now surrounded, right before seizing the city. In February 1943, the German forces at Stalingrad had surrendered. 500,000 Germans were either killed or captured. The consequences of Stalingrad put the Germans on the defensive on the Eastern Front. This would forever change the outcome of the war.